Hey lovely mom, thank you so much for joining me once again. In this video I'm going to be showing you my grocery haul and meal plan with me. So let's jump right in. A couple of days ago I shared a video on here about using 10 tips to weekly meal plan and stay on a budget, and I'm just putting those tips and tricks that I shared on that video to work in this video. So I started looking at my weekly ads, and then I pulled out my weekly meal plan template, and I also pull out my phone because I have an app that keeps track of all the shift days that my husband will be working, and that way I can plan around the days that he will be home. And so basically the days that he is on shift, we eat leftovers. Once I have a guide as to what days I need to plan for, I hop on Pinterest real quick, and most of the recipes I have already saved on my food boards in Pinterest. So if you would like to follow me to look at the recipes that I am meal planning for this particular video, you can check out. I will leave the link in the description so that you can check all of the recipes that I have. And basically what I'm doing is I'm going through them and then planning out what ingredients I will need and writing them down and making sure that I have every single ingredient that I need. And then I also check my pantry and my spices to make sure I have everything to complete the meals. The groceries that I got from the meals that I planned out, and I don't have large countertops, so I had to put them on my dining table. So pretty much I'm gonna go through the stuff. So I buy Ezra these spinach littles just for lunch, or like something quick every now and then. Most of the time he eats everything that I make for dinner, so most of the time this will be like a lunch item. Tyler requested quick grits, so I got him that, and these two for Ezra as a side item in addition to what we make for dinner. That way he gets a fruit and yogurt in his meals. I wasn't counting on meal prepping or making a meal for dinner on this Saturday, because as you saw on my weekly meal plan paper that I was writing in, it's my birthday, so I wasn't going to do anything because we were going to go out to eat. However, I found a good price on drumsticks, so I bought those just in case, and I got some free coupons from this sweet lady that I ran into at Kroger, and she gave me a bunch of free coupons for different veggies, so I went ahead and bought that. So I have to make tostadas. So I have my tostadas here, my refried beans, my lettuce. I found that this is a better option because if I buy them in a bag, it goes bad fairly quickly if we don't eat it like that day or the next day that I buy it. So I went ahead and bought this because usually you can take down the layers and the core will still be good. So I went ahead with this option. And then I bought this big bag of cheese because a couple of the dinner items require cheese. So tostadas require cheese. And I did have some tomatoes, onions, and avocado and cilantro to go with the tostadas. And then I have Here's some smoked turkey sausage and some broccoli. So I didn't have to buy a whole lot to make that particular meal because some of the items I have. So I have some brown rice to go with that, and I have all the seasonings to go with each of these meals. So that helps a lot is when you already have things in your pantry or in your seasoning containers or whatever, you already have that. It makes it easy just to buy the things that you need to complete the meal. So here I have the Italian breadcrumbs. I buy the Kroger brand because it's always going to be cheaper than name brand, and it tastes just as good. And then I have my ground turkey. You can use regular beef. I just like this 93% lean and 7% fat from Kroger. And then my side items are going to be green peas with some of the oven baked russet potatoes. So that's 1, 2, and then I have the quinoa and black bean enchilada bake. So I have the red enchilada sauce here, the black beans, the quinoa, the corn, cilantro, the onion, and tomato, the yellow pepper, and some avocado to top that on top. And then I like to shred some chicken on top. The regular meal recipe does not include chicken, but I like to add chicken to make it a little bit more filling. And then I bought some eggs because we always have that for breakfast. We were low on butter, so I got butter. And then some of these tortillas, I like to have these for lunch or for breakfast most of the time with my eggs. And then here is the other option, which is the drumsticks and some of these Brussels sprouts. And then I did buy some bath tissue and some paper towels. So when I buy these items along with a grocery run, it's always going to come out a little bit over budget, but most of the time, like, these last for about a month, and so I don't always have to be buying them every week. So most of the time I stay on budget, but when I have to include these, that's when I tend to go a little bit over budget. I got these at Dollar General. It's 32 rolls for $10, so I found that that is a great deal. We used to buy them at Sam's Club. However, I didn't feel like I wanted to waste $20, and I think it's for 32 or 48 rolls. I can't remember, but I think $10 is great, and it lasts us about a month or probably even more. And then I buy the paper towels from Kroger. You get 10 giant rolls, and they do last us quite a bit, and I get those for $10 as well. So that is everything I bought at Kroger to make the meals.
So for meal number 1, I have tostadas, and basically it's just the tostada and have some black refried beans on there, some lettuce, some tomato, onion, and cheese, and some guacamole. I know this doesn't look like Salisbury steak, but it's seasoned for the Salisbury steak recipe. The only reason that I put it into this meatloaf dish is so that I can save time instead of patting out the meat and then doing it on a pan, frying them on the pan and everything. It just cuts down on time. So it still tastes the same, and we have gravy on top of it and the peas with the baked potato.
This recipe calls for brown rice. I like to use the whole grain. It comes in this bag. You can use instant brown rice to make life a whole lot easier on you, but I like to use this one, and I use about a little over half of the bag just to have some leftovers. And then it's a teaspoon of garlic and teaspoon of onion powder. It calls for onion salt, I believe, but I don't like it to be too salty, so I like onion powder just because the sausage already is salty as it is. So it calls for salt and pepper, butter, and olive oil. But because I like to eat a little bit on the healthier side, if I can omit certain things, I will. So it tastes just as good without the olive oil and the butter. I think it also calls for cheddar cheese mixed with it. I don't do that, but I'll leave the cheese out. So if Tyler or Ezra want to add it on top, they can add it to their plate. So here I have the turkey smoked sausage, which I'm just gonna cut up. And one goes a long way. If your family is larger than a family of 3, then definitely get 2 packs of this. And then I just got one of these broccoli crowns, which I'm going to chop up. Even if you're a larger family and cooking this meal, I think one still goes a long way. I have the rice boiling. It usually doesn't take long, so it shouldn't be long before it's cooked. I like to keep it in, I like to keep a lid on it. I feel like it helps cook it a little bit faster. I'm going to be putting it down on medium. So here is the final result. I did end up putting 3 teaspoons of onion salt because I felt like it needed a little bit of saltiness. It was a little bit bland, so it ended up helping it greatly, and it tastes good. Sorry about the background noise. Tyler's cutting the grass, and I just told him dinner's ready, so he's about to come in.
I didn't take any video of our plate, but I did take a quick photo of Ezra eating this meal. So for the easier meals, I didn't do a step-by-step because they were pretty easy and self-explanatory. For this meal, I have my corns, my enchilada, red sauce, my quinoa, my cilantro, and my lime juice, chili powder, my kosher salt, olive oil, and I have my black beans as well, and some garlic that I need to mince. And I'm going to be putting my quinoa to boil. It's pretty much like rice, and it pretty much takes the same amount of time for this to boil and be done as rice does. Now I'm just going to be placing the chicken tenders to boil so that way I can shred them at the end to add them with everything else. So I have a tablespoon of olive oil in my pot, and I'm adding my onion and my garlic, and then once that is kind of clear, I'm adding my yellow pepper and my corn, and then adding some lime juice, and then my cumin and some chili powder. Once I've done that, I add my cilantro, and then I'm adding some kosher salt. So once the quinoa is done, I went ahead and added to the rest of the mixture on the pot, and then now I'm going to be adding the black beans and the enchilada red sauce, and adding the shredded chicken into it, and then just mixing everything up, and then putting it in a casserole dish, and then topping it with some Mexican cheese, and then I'm putting it in the oven. I do put a foil paper on top of it so the cheese stays nice and melted. So this is the end result. It is so delicious and easy to make. So for meal number 5, I did lemon pepper drumsticks, and I did Brussels sprouts. I did season them and oven bake them, and then alongside with some jasmine rice. And that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got some dinner menu ideas for your family and had a little insight as to how I meal plan for the week. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below so that you don't miss out any of the content that I will be uploading. So I hope to see you again in the next one. Bye-bye.